Greetings, my loves. This is Annette of AnnetteLeonard.com, back with another moment for chronic wellness. Happy 2021! I am delighted to be bringing in a new year and hopeful about the possibilities that the new year brings with it. How about you? I am not setting resolutions for this new year, but I am setting a few intentions. And one of my intentions for this new year is to bring clarity. And in thinking about clarity, I really am seeking some clarity as it relates to decisions in my health picture and some upcoming decisions as it relates to treatment options and decisions I need to make about an upcoming surgery and whether or not to travel to see my pulmonary docs up in Seattle. So a number of upcoming decisions about my health. And one of the things that I firmly believe only ever serves us as people with chronic health conditions is to become content experts about our disease. So that's my topic for today, is how can we learn all that we can and become the experts on ourselves as it relates to our diseases. And so here's my starting point. I have had this ongoing struggle in, my life as a professional patient around trying to pursue this new treatment option for myself that is uncharted, is a treatment that is off-label for my disease. There is therefore no dose and frequency for my disease, and yet it comes at the recommendation of a physician. And in trying to track down other experts who can help me dial in a dose, a frequency, make a recommendation so that then we can start the next steps of the process, which is getting approval from my infusion practice, then getting that practice to take the approvals to my insurance, all these hoops, that you have to jump through. I just haven't even been able to get somebody to talk to me about what my dose would be. And I finally got a pharmacist on the phone the other day who said, lady, nobody wants to be the first in this regard unless they're running a study on it. And that would be done by the drug company. And I said, I get that. And I am a part of a subset of rare diseases. And here's why this matters. I have a port I can't use. I have veins that are shot. I am young enough that I need my veins to still be accessible. I need to consider a subcutaneous version of this drug for these reasons. And I started educating him about my disease, and he had already done some research and said, because you are so well versed, can you tell me what was your dose previously on IV therapy, milligrams per kilogram? And I said, I sure can, and here's what it was. And I said, can you look at a comparable chemo patient on this med, what they would have been taking, what they are now taking in the subcutaneous version? And he said, yes, I can. He looked that up. We started to have a really engaged conversation. And I said, okay, so now I want to take this back to my doctor. I can do that one of two ways. I can say either a PharmD at the oncology practice said this, or I can say your name so that my doctor can actually contact you if he has questions. Which of those two would you prefer? And he said, well, I would have opted for option A, but you have come into this conversation so well versed. I understand that you understand the risks and that you understand that my recommendations come with all these caveats, with all of these possibilities for this to not go well, for it to not be the right dose out of the gate, that I will attach my name to it. Huzzah! your doc can call me with questions. Here is a prime example of how me being a content expert about my disease, about how my disease impacts me, about my dose and frequency of previous medications that I've been taking has gotten me through one of these crazy hoops in addressing my illness. And yes, folks, I understand that being well spoken, being well educated, being privileged in all of these other ways have also served me. So don't get me wrong, it is on the backs of giants that I stand. And taking the time to know my disease, know my medical history, and this can be as detailed as reading medical journal articles, it can be setting up a Google alert, and it is also taking detailed notes, whether that's recording your doctor's appointments or taking somebody with you who can transcribe some of what's happening. It is always going into medical appointments with questions. It is knowing how to keep track of the papers and the paperwork that I get from doctors. I am always going to be my own best medical advocate. And the same is true of you, folks. Nobody is ever going to fight as hard for you as you will fight for you. It is a frustrating truth, and why oftentimes this chronic life feels like being a professional patient. So out of the gate, that is my pro tip. Educate yourself. Become the very best content expert on your disease and your body that you can be. I wonder what hurdles you have cleared or what obstacles you are up against as it relates to managing your chronic condition. As ever, I would love it if you would subscribe, if you would leave me a positive review wherever you are watching or listening, and leave me a comment or question here. If you haven't already tuned in, I am doing weekly conversations on Instagram. In January's, we will start to flip that to Mondays. So Monday the 18th will be the next of those. Tune in on Instagram, IG Live at 3:30 Pacific Standard Time. All right, folks. Thank you for tuning in. I'm so grateful to spend this time with you. And until we're together again, thank you and be well.